on here. This is Josiah Plays Pillars of Eternity. And I'm back. And we're talking to Kana, and he's going to tell us about Anslog's Compass. Anslog's Compass? Put simply, it's named for that rock over by the water. But there's a tale behind the name, as there always is. Anslog was a man, you see, with a rather sad fate. For he'd stolen the enchanted compass of an irate ship captain, and was cursed for it. It would lead him always to the most beautiful places in the world, and there he would inevitably find misfortune. So, why not throw aside the compass, yes? But Anslog could not help himself. There are some that say that wherever his soul resides now, it still yearns for those lost corners of the world. And so too these pretty waters draw in foolish captains, and the rocks shatter ships to pieces. He grins. He does that a lot. As I was joking earlier, when I was first going through all his dialogue, I was trying to see if there's a contest between does he grin more often than Durance grips his staff tightly. And I think they're about tied. But it's a pleasant enough place for a walk, isn't it? He's very optimistic about everything. So he did say something new. But this other stuff is all...
The Tanvi Orator. It's not really a book. It's been passed down over the years in the form of a chant. I actually found it a little strange at first, seeing it set down in stone. It's not quite the same as a song of worship, though we have paeans to the gods as well. More a kind of moral guide. It gives us something to...
That guy's would get on my nerves. Yeah, maybe so. He's pretty awesome party member though. Like he... Yeah, there was quite a bit of dialogue here. I'm ready if you are, Kana grins.
It's good to be on the road again. A wanderlust is nothing rare in the people of Rawatai. But often I think myself alone in loving the land as much as the sea. What shall we see next, I wonder?
Let's be on our way. Who's my favorite companion? Well, okay, of the ones I have, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the actual companions so far. And there are 4 more that I can get in the game. I can get the Paladin, the Cipher, the Ranger, and whoever the other one is. And the Druid. So there's 4 others I can get. So what I have is Adair, the human fighter, Kana, the Amawa chanter, Durance is a human priest, and I have Aloth, the elf mage. Hey Malik, how you doing? Cool, thanks for stopping by, man. How did your 24-hour stream go? Did you make it through it no problem? Because I'm only about 3 hours and maybe 3.5 hours away from hitting 24 hours myself here. I would say for now, I guess Durance is my favorite because I've gotten so much to talk to him so much more. I feel like there's interesting stuff going on with Aloth and Adair though that I haven't really unlocked because they haven't told me much yet. So I think one of them might end up being more my favorite companion. Kana's pretty cool too, but I don't think he's gonna end up my favorite companion at all. But there's other companions that I think I'm gonna like more than any of these companions. I just haven't met them yet. Because there's the female Cipher companion that you meet, which is also my class, was the companion that was written by Chris Avallone, and Chris Avallone is, in my opinion, by far the best writer in all of gaming, and has been for many years.
Sure.
So generally, any character he makes up and writes for a game is generally totally freaking awesome, because Chris Avallone's a genius. So I haven't met that companion yet. And then there's another one that Josh Sawyer wrote that's a paladin, and she's a female too, and she's from Vailia, which is the same place my character's supposed to be from, and I'll bet she's gonna be pretty darn interesting, because she's a godlike. So I think I'm probably gonna end up liking those companions more, but we'll see. I haven't actually, like, all I know about those companions is their name and their race and where they're from. I don't even know anything like about their personality or anything they say or any of that, because those are some of the companions that were kind of kept behind closed doors. Like, everybody knew about, anybody that's followed this game already knew about Aloth and Adair, because these are from the beginning of the game, so they were talked about. And everybody knew about Kana because you'd seen gameplay videos from Josh Sawyer streaming the game a long time ago, and he had him in his party and talked to him. Same with Durance. But the other companions, so these 4 are the ones you can get in Act 1, essentially. Which is, Act 1 is pretty much everything up to Cadnua. To get over here to the main city, and to the second city, and to all the stuff that's over here, that's where you find the other 4 companions, and you can't even get to any of those until you claim the stronghold, which I haven't done yet, because that's kind of the last thing you do in Act 1. So, that's, I don't know, probably a much longer answer than I needed to. You survived it, Alec, huh? You survived it. That's cool. But it was a blast, had a lot of fun. What level are you? Not very high. 3rd for everybody except for this rogue that I hired at the Adventurers thing. She's only 2nd because you have to hire one that's 1 level below you. And I haven't earned enough XP for her to catch up. So that's it. Only 3rd level. And there's so much stuff we haven't even done. I spend a lot of time just screwing around. You know, reading stuff and talking to people in chat and whatever. So I'm going for the slowest playthrough of Pillars of Eternity of all time. I mean, the fact that I've played 20 hours and I'm really seriously probably literally only 4 or 5 hours into the game for like the way a normal person would play it if they weren't screwing around. And yet it's taken me 20 hours.
Nice and quiet.
Like, if I wanted to start a new game right now, and I didn't stream and I didn't mess around at all, I could complete everything I've completed up to this point. I'll bet I could do it in 4 hours, or 5 at the most. Okay, so I need to come back over here. I also sneak everywhere. Good RPG takes a lot of time. Yeah, well, I have no idea how long the game is. I mean, when I play an RPG, it's always much longer for me than whatever they say it's going to be, and I don't think they even gave a specific number of what they said this was going to be. It seems pretty long, though. It has a lot of content, so yeah, 40 to 60 seems to be a good estimate for like normal people. For me, it'll be double that at least. Uh-oh, Zara. What, am I actually going to get in a fight? It's been forever since I got in a fight. Oh, there's 3 of them over there. What the hell's going on? Okay, get him, Black Hound. Get him. Rawr. No, it's a non-combat pet, but...
Well...
we're just going to back that ass up.
Hey,
bring Adair forward.
What is it? As you...
Actually,
yeah.
I should probably go scout and
No
see
problem.
how many are over here. Is it just 3? Regular Zarups, no champions, no priests, no anything? Oh, that's kind of... Oh, there's 4. Still, though, they're just the normal Zarups, so those are going to be, like, super weak. Whatever, then. Come on with it. Okay.
Hey.
He's going to move up.
What is it?
She's going to open with a bow shot.
On your word.
Kana's going to come into position. Durance is going to come into position.
How may I help?
The wizard will wait until he can do something useful at some point. So, this is how we start this off. We quick save. Because it's Path of the Damned. Anything can happen. I got my whole party wiped by a fucking stag earlier.
What is it?
take this one out. Nice shot. 20 damage. Okay.
Hey.
Adair, go do your tanky thing. Meanwhile,
Aye?
wizard, drop some pain. Durance, you can sneak in there, and
Yes?
Kana, you can just run in and attack whoever. My character.
Yeah.
Let's I'll do mental binding, I suppose, on this guy. Okay,
How may I
Alaf.
help?
Another arcane assault, please.
What is it?
You can do another crippling strike on this one.
What?
Did I just... I did. I just shot... I grazed for 38. That gun is amazing. Let's see. Stag was 10 hours ago. AoEs can hit party members. Some of them can. Like, so an ability, when you look at its description, will say... See how this says foe AoE? That means this AoE will only hit enemies. But like, for example, his Fan of Flames just says AoE, period. That will hit anything in the area. So that will hit party members too. But fortunately, a good amount of the AoEs are foe AoEs. Like all of mine, all of my Chanter, my Cipher abilities only hit enemies. And all of Kana's abilities only hit enemies. The Wizard actually is the one that has a lot of spells that hit allies too. Like all the fireballs and rays of cones of cold and all of his like elemental big AoE attacks will hit allies too. But his little special ability he can use twice in encounter, Arcane Assault, only hits enemies, which is nice. So yeah, that's the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Alright, we've already fired the gun. How much? I have 19. I'm gonna Mind Blade some dudes. And
Well.
Rogue can just keep doing her thing.
Well.
Yes?
He'd better just start attacking somebody here.
Hey.
He's got a knockdown left, so let's knock somebody down. Alright.
Kiss your eyes.
I missed with the Mind Blades, didn't I? Yep.
Eh?
Alright, switch to the crossbow, so I don't have to spend 20 minutes reloading that gun.
Kiss your eyes.
Okay, handled. And we barely got hurt at all. Now I knew that was going to be an easy fight because it was just for regular weak Zarups, which are you know pretty easy. And I like that's these little guys, right? I've killed 14 of them, but these like Zorup priests and Zorup champions are way tougher. And the other fights I fought on this map of Zorups were mixed groups that had champions and priests and everything, and they were a lot harder than that fight.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Oh, thank you for all the loots. So where did those people go? Did they leave? I guess they just left. Alright, let's move along. Now that I have a full party of 6, I'm a lot stronger than when I was only like 3 or 4 party members. Because Kana buffs us and he helps a lot. He does also pretty good damage. And this rogue that I made myself and hired from the inn does a shitload of damage. And like in that fight, everything I just did was per encounter use. I have not used any of the wizards or the priest's actual spells, their daily spells. Like the priest and the wizard both have 4 first and 2 second level spells, and they can only use that many, that 4 and that 2 per day.
What?
I have to actually rest for them to get those back. But I've been saving those, so like we just won that encounter no problem, and neither of them actually used their real spells.
Yes.
Whereas the Chanter and the my character, the Cipher, they don't have per rest stuff. All of their stuff is reoccurring abilities based on.
Yeah.
Or actually, that's the Cipher, based on some kind of resource that they generate.
All right then.
And we lost like practically no life. That's amazing. In that whole fight, Adair lost 6 health, and nobody else lost any. That was pretty solid. Pretty solid. Alright, I think this is her. That's her. That's the woman we're looking for. Is Chanter still OP? I heard that class was in beta. They nerfed him a little bit. He's not quite as powerful as they were a couple beta versions ago, but they're still pretty damn good. They're pretty powerful. Once he gets 3 phrases and he can cast one of his actual spells, this one here like is so strong. They both are. This summons 3 skeletons to fight for you, and they're awesome. And this one's amazing. It does this huge cone that only hits foes, that does damage to all the enemies in the big cone and stuns them all for 7 seconds. It's fucking awesome. But he has to build up 3 phrases before he can use it, of course, which is the thing about Chanters. They can't actually cast any spells at the start of combat, basically. They have to wait until they've chanted for a little while. I mean, the chants are good too. He's putting buffs on the party. Like, the chant I have him using all the time is this one. And first he does this, which gives everybody plus move speed and plus reflex. Then he does this, which gives everybody plus fortitude and plus will. And he just keeps chanting that over and over, which keeps both of those buffs on everybody as long as we're still in combat, which is pretty nice. And he's doing that while he's fighting, so he can be sitting there beating ass with his S-stock while doing those chants. Then once he builds up to 3, he can cast one of these, like, powerful spells. So the Chanter's a pretty cool class. Malik says, have to step out. See you guys later. All right, Malik, thanks for coming by. It was cool to see you in chat. Take care. See you later. All right. So, what I'm doing here is a mother's plea. Afrat, who is the sister of Kalisha, the fighter woman I had with me in the very beginning of the game who died. This is her sister, and she's pregnant, and she's worried that her child's going to be hollow-born because all the kids are being born without souls. So she sent me to meet this woman, Ranga, a midwife who is said to know a way to ensure that Afra's child retains its soul. So that's what I'm doing here. Although this is an interesting twist. That's a Zarup, a friendly Zarup standing there. Every Zarup I've met so far has been immediately hostile, of course, so don't know what's going on here. Fish and clumps of seaweed, bright green with heat, royal in the stew. It tastes pleasantly salty. Why am I tasting it? Why am I like, hey, look at that? It's a random pot with anything in it. Let's just eat some randomly, just because I wanted. That's a magnifying glass. That means look at a thing. It's not a fucking tongue icon. Run over there and taste some shit. Just saying. You ain't got to just be tasting stuff.
Got it.
All I'm saying.
On your word.
I don't know if this is going to
Alright,
turn
then.
into a fight. I don't think it will, but
Yes?
you never know. I like my party, though, so far. I mean, I don't think this is the final party I'll use for the actual most of the game. I'm certain it won't be, but for now, compared to not having 6 people, it's pretty great having 6 people.
Of course.
No, back your ass up, elf boy.
Hey. Of course.
he gets to be in the front at all times. Okay, quick save. Let's talk to this thing first. The Zarup jabbers unintelligibly. Of course it does. We knew that would happen, right? Because when we read about Zarups earlier, it told us that their elongated snouts make speech impossible, which has hindered them from communicating with the more civilized races of the world. I read all the stuff. All the stuff. Okay, here we go. Let's talk to her. This is the she's an Amawa woman. In fact, it looks like she is an island Amawa, just like Kane is. You can tell because her skin isn't blue. The coastal Amawas have the blue skin. The island ones have the little bit more normal colored skin. Let's talk to her. You find yourself facing a towering Amawa woman. Her skin is the warm gold brown of a dying sunset, with pale fish-white patches at throat and hands. Wavy red-brown hair pulled into tight braids around a stripe of bare skin that follows the curve of her skull, flows down over her broad shoulders.
Good day, stranger.
She's using the generic good day, stranger voice. Well, I'm going to give her whatever voice I want, and it's not going to be that one, because I end up using that voice for too many NPCs. She regards you calmly, evidently unsurprised to find you here at the edge of her camp by the water. Have you come for medicines and craftworks, or to share the fire? No, that sounds too much like my character. I was kind of trying to go for like a fucking Jamaican sort of thing, but it totally didn't work. Have you come for medicines and craftworks, or to share the fire? She gestures to the large cauldron nearby. Alpha sent me here. What's that Zarup doing here? Who are you? Do you have anything for sale? Well, I'll get right to business. No, I better ask who she is yet. I don't magically know that she's Ranga, I guess. Who are you? My name is Ranga. I lived in Gilded Vale a time, working as a healer and a midwife. Perhaps you've been to that place? You'll understand then why I might choose to come south. Ranga, is it? Kana chuckles. And what are you Ranga Nui of, cousin? Why not sail north and join us in Rawatai? Is that where you found that accent, Islander? Ranga smirks. Keep your Rawatai. I'd sooner be king of this little island. More of a little peninsula, I'd say. Well, you ain't gotta diss her little kingdom, buddy. What's that Zarup doing here? Oh, Tana? He helps make other ingredients, work the cauldron, things like that. He's been quite a help around here. The Zarup lets out a rattling chirrup and bares its teeth in what you guess is intended to be a cheerful expression. Alright, that's cool. Will you join my party? I wouldn't mind having a little Zarup with us. I don't think you will. Afra sent me here. She says that you know some way to ensure that her child is not a hollow-born. Oh, you see this? You see this? This is the first time this has happened. Okay, like I told you, there's the dispositions, right? And as you take dialogue choices of different like tones or dispositions, you build up a reputation of those dispositions. So honest or benevolent or cruel or deceptive, or there's like 10 different ones. And I've done enough benevolent things now that I have the benevolent one reputation, and this is because I have that. She's saying this to me. She would not have said this to me if I hadn't picked enough benevolent choices before this. That's pretty awesome. Ah, more of Lord Radric's frightened flock. She nods slowly. You were kind to come all this way. Poor Afra must be beside herself. I imagine she gave you something for payment? Whatever it is, you keep it. I don't need coin. I need you to do something for me instead. Ranga points inland. There is a Zareb tribe to the northeast, not anymore, led by one of their priests. Tana was exiled from there some time ago, and their scouts still lurk about this place, waiting for an opportunity to end his life. No, they don't. The Zareb lets out a rattling squawk, head drooping. One day I shall have to go for supplies, and I will come back to find my assistant slain. How can I help anyone then? She shakes her head. You rid me of this nuisance, and I will do what I can for Afra, and throw in something for you too. Oh, cool. I can already answer it with yep, done. I had to kill the Zarebs on the way here. They won't bother you anymore. Truly? You are very efficient with your favors. Here, something for your trouble. She nods and claps her hands once. What, that's what I got for my trouble? A clap? It was like the world's shortest round of applause. Good. Then I shall set my full attention now upon the remedy for Afra. I will get started on the mixture, but I need one more ingredient. Of course you do. Some spores from the creatures in that cave there, goddammit. I see how this is gonna be. She points just north of her little stretch of beach. Sporelings, they call them. It is a useful material. I need one for the mixture. You are welcome to any others you find. Will you have a third favor for me to do after this? Ranga smiles. This is what I need to make the potion Afra asks for. If you don't wish to help, then I cannot do anything about that, can I? Alright, cool. So I've already done... So there was... Basically, it's a 3-step quest. One step is to come down here and find her. Step 2 is to go up and kill the Zards, which I've already done. And Step 3 is to get the stuff from the cave. See, so that's the difference between a task and a quest. A task is usually something very quick. Like, you can do, like, 1 step or 2. And it's all, like, in one contained area. Whereas the quest, this is more of a lengthy thing. Like, you got to travel a couple maps away, and you got to kill some stuff, and you got to kill some other stuff, and you got to go in a cave. So next I have to collect dank spores. Those are pretty diggity dank. Ranga's concoction apparently requires a particular part from one of the sporelings found within the nearby sea cave. She has asked me to retrieve one for her while she works on the rest of the mixture. Okay, well, that is pretty awesome. Let's see here. Mother's plea. Collect dank spores. Got it. Did she give me something? Ooh, she gave me potions. She gave me potions. Minor regeneration. That's always good. And minor recovery. These potions are generally called upon to void the body of poisons and similar afflictions, though variants have been developed which do their work in a less messy fashion. These concoctions reduce the time needed for an affected individual to recover. -2 duration of active hostile effects over 30 seconds. That sounds pretty useful. I don't know if you can drink it if you're already under, you know, an effect of that nature or what, but... So I'll give it to the rogue for now. And I think this is like the one he's got, so we'll stack it up for him. That's the like better healing potion that heals a bunch of endurance straight up. To the cave, brave Sir Robin. Yeah, I do my share of running away. I don't know if you were here earlier when I was literally running away from stuff. But, yeah. Scree? Nothing I can steal from your camp? The Zarb jabbers unintelligibly.
gods keep you.
Careful with these sporelings, they have a way with the mind.
Ranga taps her temple lightly.
It's why the spores are so useful, really.
I'll go deal with them and return. Okay.
All right then.
So
Let's see what lies this way.
here's what we're gonna do. So other than the cave here, it looks like I've already cleared everything on this whole map, which is amazing. Hey now. Oh yeah, I already looted that sand. But I'm pretty sure there was, yeah, there's creatures here in front of this cave. So, I need to take a quick break for just about 5 minutes. So, I'm going to end this episode here for the videos, even though it's shorter than the usual hour and a half to 2 hours. That doesn't matter. And then I'll start a new one. So, what I'm going to do is end this episode, which is by telling you that this has been Josiah Plays Pillars of Eternity.